What's up, Roulette Fools? Brent with AOB. I got a special guest with us today. You're going to see here in just a second. But before we do that, let's pull up our Excel and show where our status is. We finished off 1266. Perfect. We are, or excuse me, 1344. We had a $78 day yesterday playing what I'm now calling the ex-wife because it's dangerous. It can take everything you own, or it can be amazing, right? So you saw up there, we had a couple big bad days, 244 down, 250 down. We lost pretty much our entire playable balance, and 286. So we've had three really big bad days. The good news is that was all on me, and we are the only thing we can control. So that's good news because that was purposeful, right? That was me degenning, taking that risk. Okay, let's get that off the screen. So this is the very first episode of having our shadow in there. Say hello to Tamron. She is my new shadow recruit. Shadow recruit. So it's going to be low key. We're on a extra time wheel for this first session, and Tamron says she wants to play 2 dozen slut. So if you're not familiar, we're basically going to rotate the open dozen around like a carousel, no matter the results. And Tamron, what kind of progression do you use on your 2 dozen?
So on a loss, I usually will double and then add a unit.
Okay, so you super martingale it. You double
Correct.
plus 1 unit, double plus 1 unit.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
the whole time.
The whole time. So that means that it doesn't recover. If you lose a couple, it will not recover in 1 hit. But we're going to double plus add 1 unit. And let's see how this goes. Is this pretty much your go-to strategy?
It is. This
is your daily driver. Okay. And if you guys see me like looking over here, like I'm talking to her, I am looking over here because I'm talking to her because she's on the sharing her screen on Discord. So it's just natural habit for me to like look at the person you're talking to. So that's why you may see me moving my eyes over here. All right, let's see if we can get this. I did 2 dozens in Vegas pretty heavily this, of course.
Oh.
All right. Of course. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to rebet. The easiest way to do this is rebet, drag this chip over here, double it, add 1 unit, and off we go. So pretty rough start, but that's okay. So I played this exclusively in... Go ahead.
Sorry, Brent. I was going to say, so usually when I bet with these double or double dozens, whatever, 2 dozens, yeah. I would usually bet with ARS, and I'll start with like a bet of 50 ARS. When I double it, it'll be 150 if on the loss, sorry, 150 for each dozen. And then from 150, I'll usually go 500 ARS. And then if I lose on the 500, I'll go 2000 ARS on each dozen. So it's not really each time that I'll double and then add a unit.
Okay.
But I haven't been past that 2000 mark, I must say.
All right.
But that's
so
an ARS.
Let me make sure I get this right. After the first loss, you 3x it, which is double plus 1 unit, right? You go from 50 to 150. If you lose the 150, you go to what?
500.
150 to 500. Okay, 150 to 500. All right, so you're basically 10xing your base bet. So in this case, we would 10x our bet, which would be $5 a dozen. Whew. So that is quite the progression. That gets, wow. Okay. Where did you come up with this? Where did you, well, it doesn't matter. It's ARS. It's all relative, but where did you come up with this? Where did you find this progression strategy? Who put this into your mind?
So honestly, it was just by chance. And I was in a rush to place my bets. I was playing on a speed wheel, and I didn't want to work out, what I need to put on the table to actually make profit on my next hits. So I knew going from 150 to 500 would immediately get me profit.
Okay.
So I just jumped in, and then if I lost again, then I just jumped to 2000, knowing that I would get profits.
All right. Well, I'm not going to follow exactly. Well, sure. Let's go exactly. We'll go exactly here. We're getting our bahooty kicked right now. We're 1 and 4 on this wheel right now. doing this, but let's just play it out. I mean, right? The win losses are like a pendulum, right? So when we have a really good winning streak, we know it's going to go the other way. You're going to get punches and bunches. That's just the natural law. So we're down. If we can stick it out long enough, that should start to recover for us. There we go.
Yes, there we go.
Yes. She's sweating over here because I'm holding her fully accountable for this. And I have her bank and routing number and all that information. I'm hacked into her stuff. So whatever we lose here, I just take back. So I'm not stressed about it, Tamron. You should be stressed about it, but not about us losing, but about me taking that money out of your account. So, so Tamron's in South Africa, right? And
I am, yes.
Have you lived there your entire life?
I have. Born and raised.
Born and raised in, there we go. Look at it. We're in profit. All right. We're going to go back down.
Nice.
So you have been in Africa your entire life then?
South Africa, yes.
South Africa.
Indeed.
That's very cool. Yeah. And I remember we were talking about it and you say you really haven't had a chance yet to even explore Africa too much. You've been a little bit, but not too much.
Mm-hmm. So I've mainly explored my own country, but anywhere out of the borders of South Africa, within the African continents, I haven't been anywhere.
Haven't been anywhere. Okay.
Yes. I have been to America though once.
Yeah, where did you go?
Cool.
Where in the US did you go?
I went to Massachusetts, Boston.
Massachusetts, Boston.
About 10 days. Yeah,
all right.
Boston.
All right. Very good.
That was really
How did you
cool.
like it?
I loved it.
You
the
loved it.
streets were so clean. The air was so fresh. It was beautiful.
Okay.
I loved
Very good.
every moment. So I'll definitely.
You loved every
back.
moment of it? Is that some place that you like is on your bucket list to go back to, or you were like, it was great, but I want to see other places?
No, it's definitely on my bucket list. I'd love to go back there. But I would also like to see other places, of course.
Other places.
I'd love to see the world.
All right. Well, the good news is, as a lifer, once you get to the lifer stage, you're going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to travel because you're going to be able to go anywhere there's internet, right? And play and do your job. Or you just save up like you would on a normal job with your plane and you leave the laptop at home and do what you should do, which is just go on vacation and get away from it all for a little while. But if you want to go for extended period of time, I know you were talking about traveling other places, like the UK and stuff like that. You can take your laptop, and if you wanted to go up there for say a month, you could do that, right?
That sounds amazing.
All right. What do you notice right now, Tamron, about our situation here?
We're doing pretty okay.
We're doing pretty okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So we're 5-5. We were 1-5, and we were talking about that the numbers will catch up, right? The numbers will catch up, and they are. We just won pretty much 4 in a row. So the numbers are catching up with us. So we're at 5-5. Now, would you stay with this strategy the whole session?
Unfortunately, I would, Brains.
Why do you say unfortunately?
One of the only strategies I trust, because I know it's never really good to stay with one strategy because eventually something's going to happen.
Okay.
And it's like the great times aren't going to last forever, you know. So
yeah, I'll tell you right now that I disagree. I think it's okay if you have a favorite strategy and you want to stick with just one strategy. Remember, I was saying that there's a billion variations of strategies, but you really only need 1 to 3 good strategies in your pocket. It's not a matter of you have to switch strategies. It's a matter of you just don't want to play any strategy too long, right? So that's why we time box it, but you're absolutely okay playing. I go entire weeks only playing 5 double street. That's all I play. But it's not that I need to switch strategy because that strategy could start sucking, because any strategy can start sucking at any moment. It's just you want to kind of hit it and quit it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Right? I must say,
it's like that gal you pick up at the bar at 2:30 a.m. and you are wasted and you just want to hit it and quit it and leave before she wakes up. Okay, that was inappropriate. That was inappropriate. Inappropriate. How about we turn it the other way? It's like that guy you pick up at the bar at 2:30 in the morning. You're drunk. You just kind of want to hit it
Doesn't
and
make it
quit it.
any
Is that
better.
better? We'll put it the other way. We'll put it the other direction. All right, here we go. We're gonna 3x it. And if we lose this one, we're gonna 10x our base bet. It goes from $1 to $3 to $5 each. It's a very steep progression you have, right? Because you went from 50 to 150 to what did you say? 150 to 500, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Woo. Okay. That's not too terrible, because if we double this one, it's going to be 3 plus 50 cents.
There
If you wanted to play it this way, it'd be a 350 bet instead of a 5. And if we did triple them up, that would be a 450 bet anyway. What was that at? 2 and 3. So I personally think I would rather, if you're going to go that aggressive, I think I'd rather just do a 3x constantly, because you're going to recover +1 and you don't have to worry. Like if you lose that 5, because you've increased your bet size so much more, then your recovery bets start having to be much bigger, right? But if it's working for you, keep doing what's working for you. There we go.
It's
Look,
working for me until it doesn't work for me.
But you're in the same boat as the rest of us, right? You're in the same boat as the rest of us. All right. So we're at 11 minutes and 38 seconds. We're going to try to time box these right around the 15 minutes. But if we're in recovery, 15 to 20 minutes, it's not something that's super, super strict, right? And I didn't have time because I just got back from Vegas yesterday evening. I like to go through the comments, and show the comments. And let me address one comment. Some troll came in on, I think yesterday for me, it's going to be like a week and a half for you guys. And said that I'm doing all sorts of retakes, right? That I'm recording it and only showing wins. And then he puts in there and says, but then as soon as someone says you're winning at the very beginning, you're winning, now you're purposefully just throwing in some losses. So I just want to say, let me get this straight. I only want to show wins. I don't want to show partial session losses. But now I'm purposely putting in those same session losses, and they're freaking huge losses. They're like $280. I'm doing that? Come on, folks. That doesn't make any sense. If I'm going to purposefully show a loss, you know what I'm going to do? How much of a loss do you think I'm going to show if I want to show a loss, Tamara? How much would you show if you wanted to scam it out and you have a $250 bankroll and you wanted to show a losing session, but you're scamming the audience? How much would you show a loss of?
Maybe about $50.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I would show a small loss, maybe even -$6, right? Or something $5. I sure as heck would not show a $250, a $286 loss. I mean, that's redonkulous. Anyway, I can assure you, I play it through. And now the great thing with having Tamarin on board here with the Shadow program, I can't do retakes. She's going to know about it. If I were to stop and retake, she's going to know about it. And the other thing is that fool was saying is, I have actually live streamed maybe 6 sessions live in Discord. And I'll try to start doing more of those, but so I don't know. It's just, it's blown away to me, because my goal is not to mislead you, right? I don't want to mislead you, Tamara. I don't want to start you down the road and get your hopes up. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here being shady as heck. So it just doesn't make sense to me. So that's
you're not that kind of guy.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. That's redonkulous. That's disingenuous. Not going to do it.
All I can say is haters gonna hate, potatoes gonna potate.
Potatoes gonna potate.
Gonna potate.
Wow. Well, I don't want to potate. I'll tell you that much. I don't want to potate, and I ain't gonna hate. So that's good.
They're just being haters, Brains.
They're just being haters. They always say if you have haters, you're doing something right. That's what they say. So okay, here we go. We're gonna stay with this, but you know what I'm gonna make you do, Tamarin? When we come back from the second session, I'm gonna make you pick some other strategy, and I'm gonna make you do that. I'm going to
Okay.
make you choose a different one. And so I want you between now and then start thinking about what that strategy will be and what your progression schedule is going to be, because I'm going to have you start doing that. Now, I'm just going to have you start leaning into it. I might take over or I might do some other stuff along the way, but gradually over the series, you're going to be controlling at some point for a couple of days. You are going to be controlling everything start to finish. And you're going to have to shift your mindset a little bit because you're used to playing an ARS, right? So if you're used to placing a 50 ARS unit, that's 3.5 USD cents. That's 3.5 cents. So, oh
Yeah.
no. So you're going to have to shift your gear going, we have a $250 USD bankroll. So it just shift your focus. So I want you to be thinking about that right now when we come back from break for our second session. What strategy you're going to play? It cannot be a 2 dozen strategy. What will be the opening bet? What would you do with $250 bankroll in 15 minutes to be reasonably safe, but still make some money? So I want you to start thinking about that right now. And I wish I could have instant, like some way to do people betting on what strategy is Tamron going to be. We could do that if it was live, if we were live streaming. And we may live stream one of these at one point. All right, we're at 16 minutes. Let's get one more win. Then Tamara and I will just take a break. We'll come back. She's going to unveil whatever strategy. I think she's been bragging that she came up with this new can't lose strategy, makes millions of dollars, and she's selling it for
That
only
is a load of
$5.
bull.
$5. She's calling it T-City, Tamron City, T-City, and it's only $5 to make millions of dollars. I asked her, well, if you're making millions of dollars on the strategy, why would you even bother selling it? And she had no answer. So who knows? And then she wants you to recruit 2 friends and charge them $5. You get to keep $250. Then you give Tamron $250. They recruit 2 people. They keep it. It sort of looks like a pyramid type thing. It's a new business. It's a new business concept. All
Sounds
right.
dangerous.
Dangerous. Yes. Okay. Not a bad session, Tamron. I mean, we started out rough and we're at 17 and a half minutes. We still ended up $7. So not a bad first session to climb out of that hole. And it was with a 50-cent unit. We never even went anywhere near our bankroll, which is that okay or not okay? If we bet for a session and we don't come anywhere near a bet that risks our bankroll, would you A, say we need to increase our bets? Would you B, say we need to maybe be more aggressive, keep the same bet side, but be more aggressive on progressions? What would you say that means if we don't go into the deep here? What does that mean?
Honestly, Brains, I like playing it safe. I know how quickly I can lose a bankroll. Like I've done it before. I've made those mistakes. And as soon as you get complacent, that's when it gets you. So I like keeping my bets smaller, even if I just have to play more sessions to make up for the profit that I want to get for the day. But yeah, I prefer a smaller a smaller bet size.
Well, that is exactly the right answer. Just because you have a good session doesn't mean you start going, oh, this is the way we know you can't do that, right? You want to stay consistent. Now, you can over a period of time, if you notice that session after session after session, whatever strategy you're playing, generally you see the pattern of how deep you go. You can, of course, go, you know what, 50 cents is being really, really conservative. And that's okay if you're okay with the amount, but maybe you might say, let's start opening it up a little bit at a time and see what happens with that. Right?
Yeah.
She says yes.
I mean,
she approves.
yeah, well, I don't know. Like for me personally, I would just keep it small, honestly.
Okay. And that's okay. If you're okay with the amount you're making, you do not have to increase it. All right. We're going to take a quick break, folks. We will come back and we will see what T-City comes up with on the next session here. I can't wait because I don't know either. All right. We will be back in about a few minutes and we'll resume. All right. Cheers. All right, fools, lifers, we're back. So I don't even know what Tamron's going to do. I purposely didn't know so that we're all in shock when we hear this. All right, what are we doing, T-City?
Okay, guys, this is going to be far out there. It's something a little on the crazy side, but I enjoy the strategy too. And it's going to be controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos. I love controlled chaos. All right, what unit size with a $250 bankroll? What unit size do you want to go?
Brains, let's keep it safe. 10 cents.
All right, we're going to keep it safe. There's no downside to being safer, right? Then, I mean, in terms of, sure, you won't make as much money, but I don't consider that a downside if you're okay with that. Are we playing follow the winner? How are we doing this?
Yeah, if we can, please.
All right, we're going to play follow the winner. And I'm actually going to save these. I'm going to save these so that it's easy. Let's see, what do I got in here? All right, let's get rid of 10 streets. Get rid of that one. Okay. Save last bet. There it is. And that way it's easier to, even though it's only 2 and 1, when you start getting up, because this is, you happen to start in a martingale, it can get harder to be click, click, double. So we're going to go here. So I like just having the favorite save just in case you want to do something. Plus, if you decide you want to be a little more aggressive with it, which I'm not recommending you do on this one, you can always add an extra base bet. But it's, for the most part, I like this strategy because if you're playing follow the winner, it's easy to get the bets down, then double, 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 because it's not a martingale plus, right? You're just doubling it. You're just doing a standard martingale.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right.
Vince,
yeah.
Before you were going to tell us all about you playing the double or the 2 streets in Vegas.
I was going to tell you about the 2 streets.
Sorry, not the 2 streets. I'm so sorry. The double dozens, the 2 dozens.
Yeah, so
in Vegas.
If you go to most casinos and you play the ETG machines, which means electronic table gaming, right? But they call it stadium. You can have one that's individual, but they usually call it stadium. And that means there's some big screens up there and big stations down here, and everybody's watching these screens because there's actually a live roulette auto wheel there that spins the ball, and everybody gets the bet on that. And there's usually bubble craps and blackjack. So the downside, oh, come on now. The downside to that is that they limit on the ETG machines, they limit it to 24 number max coverage. So now that we've been playing a lot of 2 dozens, and now that I've been playing a lot more, which is not a favorite of mine, I was playing triple dem up, except I was using James's version sort of sit and spin. So bet, lose, I would 3x the bet. If I lose it again, I would wait until that dozen clears, until it stops hitting that dozen, because I'm playing follow the loser. And once it clears, oh, come on. Now you decide to ping pong on us. All right, here we go. Let me get this down. One more. So if we lose the second one, we wait till it clears. I go back in at base bet. In this case, I was doing $5 units. As soon as that base bet wins, the difference that I do is instead of keep doing base bet until we lose and then doing recovery, I go immediately to a recovery bet, whether I win or lose. And I was very, very, very successful with that. And you'd be surprised sitting at the ETG machines, just betting, say, $5. There we go. Look at that.
Yes.
All right. We're at 820.
Nice.
Very nice. Good call.
So you're very successful with that. That is really awesome.
Very successful with that. And the other important thing with that is, because I told you guys a long time ago how to tier up fairly easily to get your your rankings. Because I'm platinum, and maybe you want to get to gold or platinum because you get additional perks. At gold, they start giving you better perks. At platinum, you get even better perks, free cruise every year. They reimburse on, now this is kind of tricky. When you're at platinum, they say, we will reimburse you up to $600 for one plane ticket every year to Vegas. Okay. So what they don't tell you until you go up to the reward center there, the member services, is that they don't give you however much your plane ticket was up to $600. They give you slot play, which is smart on the casino because they know in general slots going to take you for a ride, right? So they don't actually end up having to pay you as much as you might think. But I had $600. I stuck it in my favorite Medusa and got one over $700. And
Nice.
yeah, earlier in the trip, I got when I booked my thing, they gave me $1,200 in free slot play. And with that 1,200, I made 1,700 and some change playing Medusa earlier. So overall, I made around $2,500 on Medusa. It's my favorite slot. So it worked out great. Yeah. And I left Vegas up probably around $1,300. So that's a good trip to me.
That is amazing.
It was a good trip. I believe we posted, I don't know if Woo, his name's Kyle, he videoed when we went to the high limit table and I was putting some bets in. Not huge. I think the biggest bet was like $7,500 or something, but he recorded some of that. Yeah. And luckily, it's okay to lose as long what? As long as
you have the bankroll.
As long as you win the big ones.
As the progression. Oh, okay.
She's such a noob. It's okay. It's okay to lose as long as you win the big ones. Sorry. I've been saying that since I started the thing. So we won. Luckily, I won the big ones. So that's that. So oh, come on. Now he's ping-ponging again. What was the first time you gambled, or do you remember what the first time you gambled and what were you playing?
So I know, like, I was probably 18. My friend and I went with her mom to a casino like a few kilometers or miles for Americans from where we stayed. And I had never gambled before. I just heard, like gambling had a bad rep for me. But I went with them anyway just to see, what it was all about. And my friend's mom gave us some money to gamble with. And obviously, being a noob, I went straight to a slot machine because I don't know how to play table games, and this is all new to me. So I can't even remember what slot machine I played, but I was doing like 50 cents, and I think that's 50 South African cents bets on the slot machine, and I lost everything. Like, I didn't win anything on that slot machine, and it was probably with, I don't know, maybe 100 rand. So yeah, like immediately I thought, what is the point of gambling, because it's just going to make me lose money anyway. And then a few years later, I tried again with a friend as well. We decided to go to the casino down the road from us, and also I think I put 200 rand, South African rands, in a slot machine again. Did a few spins, and I didn't win anything. Like, to be honest with you, I did actually win a little bit, but then I pushed my luck and I kept going, and that's when I lost everything. So
in other words, what you're saying is you are the casino's perfect clientele that they are marketing for. You back then.
I used
that's
to be
exactly
friends,
it.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And that makes up, like we're talking about, that makes up 99.9999% of the people do exactly what you're talking about. Okay, continue on.
Okay, and then I'd say 2 years ago, I came across a YouTuber, and I really enjoyed his content. He plays a lot of craps on his channel. And I was like, craps looks like the best game. I didn't understand anything at first when I started watching him. But obviously the more I watched, the more I understood the game. And then eventually on one of my online casinos, they had craps available. So I decided to give it a try. And it was so fun, but I lost it all once again. Craps is
Okay,
not
so
a
that's three
reliable game.
times in a row that you wiped out.
Lost
Okay.
it all, yeah.
Okay. Had you learned
Oh
anything
man.
by the end of that third session? Have you at least learned something that you knew when you come back? You're like, at least I'm going to do this different, or no?
Yeah. So maybe not. I had to lose one more time after that. So after that, right, I actually was sick of craps, really pissed off at the game. And that's when I came across your channel, Brains. And then obviously you play a lot of roulette. And it's so weird. I've never liked roulette. I always believed it was a scam, but also I didn't know how to play the game properly. I would always just put my chips on numbers and then it wouldn't hit the number and then I'd lose all my chips. And it's like,
Mm,
okay, well, this game is a scam. I never knew what the outside bets meant and all of that, like all the intricacies of roulette. But watching your channel, you know, the different strategies you play, you explain nicely what each outside bet means, how much you make. And so I decided to give roulette a try. And I've really been enjoying it. It's been since I'd say October last year or November last year. Um, and yeah, I think I'm going to stick with roulette now. Although, as I said,
awesome.
I had to lose one more time, which I did at the beginning of
Oh,
December
okay.
last year.
Okay.
But I
That's
was
all
being
right.
stupid. I was following a strategy that wasn't even part of your channel, honestly. Well, it was another YouTuber strategy, and you know, sometimes these strategies work out. What do you call them?
Novelty strats.
Novelty stress, exactly. Sometimes they work out, and when they work out, you win big and it's great and it feels great. But
Hmm.
then when you lose on them and you keep pushing, thinking the next spin, the next spin, the next spin, and it just doesn't happen. And then you bust your entire bankroll and you
Mm.
realize I should have stopped like 1,000, 2,000 bucks ago. So yeah, that was the final time I lost everything, and
Okay.
I'm not going to be doing that again because now
Excellent.
what you've taught me is to have a progression stop. You know, like by the fourth or fifth progression, I'll stop and give it a break and walk away and then think about it. You know, come back, maybe try a few smaller bets before I go in big again, or come back and try and carry on from the progression from where I left off, just depending on how I feel, you know, and what the wheel's heading at the time.
Now, let me ask you a
So
question
so far so good.
because I'm kind of
Hmm.
curious. You're used to playing in Rand, right?
Yeah.
Is it difficult for you to shift your mind about how much in USD? Because it would be difficult for me if I went there and started playing in Rand because the numbers are completely off, right? Whereas
Hmm. Hmm.
a $5 bet, depending on your bankroll, may be like, wow, that's really aggressive, right? But then I go to Rand and you're saying, oh, that's a 10,000 Rand bet or something. Is it difficult for you to switch over to USD?
It is in a way. That's why I prefer sticking with the ARS for now
Okay.
because I think the South African rand is doing a little bit better than ARS at the moment.
Okay.
So you know, like it helps to think that 50 ARS is just over three
3.5
American
cents. Yeah.
cents, or
3.5
yeah,
cents
yeah.
roughly USD.
Um, so that helps me a lot. But like thinking one betting $1 is $1 is like almost 20 rand, and
Right.
that's on one bet, and it's like, oh, that's pretty big for
Right.
me. So
Right.
maybe I'll get there eventually, depending on my bankroll. Like the more I grow my bankroll, I think then I'll start doing 10 cents in US dollars, you know, move from
Right.
ARS to 10 cents.
Right.
Um,
I would
and then
suggest,
yeah,
and
I'll
this,
take
and the
it.
reason I'm asking is because a big percentage of our members and our viewers are not US, right? They're around the world
Hmm.
somewhere with their own currencies. But
Hmm.
we also know USD is and I'm not making this about the United States, but it's a very global type of number. But more importantly, when you travel to the US, if you go to Vegas or you do something like that, it's all in USD. If at least you start getting yourself more familiar with the currency in terms of the relationship between how much you're betting and what your bankroll is, then that's a good thing. We're crushing this right now.
All right. Like we're just talking, having a conversation, and I look at this chart or this graph, and it's looking pretty amazing.
This, I kid you not, this is the best way to play. I don't know why, but I do my best play when I'm actually have my my wheel up here, and on my other monitor, I'm doing whatever work I need to do. And I'm sitting there doing this. I'm not even paying attention. I'm just waiting to see the splash of lose or win, go do my bets. And it's like, and that's why it's enjoyable to play with more people. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I encourage people to get in our Discord, to go in the Hangout channel and gamble there, because sometimes we have 3-4 people, you've been in there, sharing their screens, all doing different things. And we're all chatting
really cool.
about.
Like one guy's playing Slack, one guy's playing roulette, and a circle, and then you just watch the different strategies taking place and you learn a few things. It's really awesome.
Exactly. Plus, if you like really off the wall, crazy conversations that come up out of nowhere, that's the place to do it. We cover everything from aliens to government conspiracies. I mean, we've covered everything in there. Oh, come on, quit bouncing around. We've covered everything in there. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It really is. There's never a dull moment in those channels.
Never a dull moment. And I was talking to the team last night, Cameron, that I wanted to start this. And I told them that I was bringing you on board as the first person. And immediately, number one, they all said, yes, she's the most deserving person to come in here. And I'll tell you why. Because you got onto the YouTube channel and you were really active in the comments, right? And then you came into our Discord, and a lot of people will come into our Discord and then never even say a word, right? We don't even know they're there. And if that's you, that's okay. You don't have to be super active, but you got in, you came in, you started chatting, you jumped right into a voice channel, and she took it over. And she demanded we change it from called the Hangout channel to T-City channel. And I said, no, we will not be doing that. Not today, Tamron, not today.
T-City taking over the world.
T-City taking over the world. So that's why, let me ask you this, and I'm leading this into, I'll show you. When you came in, how many strategies have you posted in our roulette strategy channel?
Wait, I'm just like, are you saying strategies that I've gotten from other YouTube channels?
No, it doesn't matter where you got it. How many strategies have you gone? So we have a channel called Roulette Strategies, and people will go in there and they'll post a strategy, say, here's what I'm playing, here's how I'm doing it, so other people can either play it or ask questions. And this isn't a trick question. This isn't about how many strategies have you posted?
Like there's a few. And I say whether I've done well on them or not.
But is this in the roulette strategy channel?
Okay, no, sorry. I'm talking about the other channel.
General?
No, I think it's just roulette, called roulette.
Okay.
Okay, so roulette strategies channel, I haven't posted any strategies. Okay.
My point is, my point on this is, the community, 99.5% of our members aren't in there posting strategies and all these things, right? And I'm just trying to convey that to be an active member of our community and to contribute is not meaning you have to go in there and have knowledge about this and that and post and do that. It's literally simply coming in, socializing. And that's huge, because when we get a community, you get in the Hangout, you develop these relationships, and it's easier when you have to do this or you lose money or something. You got this. So if you have not been coming into our Discord or worried about it because you think only people that are going to come in there that are going to bring in new strategies and they're going to show you all this, you don't have to do that. Just come in, have fun, socialize, grow the community. And my goal is,
I mean, it feels like a family.
Yeah, right? Isn't everybody just like totally low-key chill?
That's so awesome. I can totally be myself and everyone just gets me, and it's cool. Like,
yeah.
Awesome.
So that's why
I see someone's joined it.
That's why Um, yeah. So anyway, that's why I push that so much, because that's all you have to do is come in and hang out and have fun. You don't have to be an expert in anything. I'm certainly not. So if I can be in there, then everybody else can be in there. So, all right. Anyway, okay. So you kind of got into how you started, then you got into roulette on the channels. What was the channel that you first caught on that you said you were watching craps? Do you remember the name of that channel?
Yeah, and sometimes I still watch him. The channel's name is Bluff. I don't know if you've ever heard of
Say that again.
him. Bluff.
Bluff.
Bluff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm familiar with Bluff. Yeah. He does a lot of Keno
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be very
So
careful.
that's
I'm not saying
actually,
it's a bad thing or
yeah.
anything, but I've seen his thing, and he will throw up money on a Keno strat and start betting crazy and show these amazing profits, right? I promise you,
Yeah.
if you do things like that, you will lose everything you have. Okay. So take some of the streamers with a grain of salt and understand that some of it's entertainment, some of it's just fun to watch, and some crazy stuff. But don't think that that stuff is necessarily the way it's going to work out for you. Because I
Yeah.
promise you, if you play Keno a lot, you could win big, but you could lose everything. So just be careful on that. But there's a shout out to
Yeah.
Bluff. See? Bluff
But then
got
also,
Tamarin into our server.
there's also who was a casino matchmaker
Mm-hmm.
that I first saw with roulette. And
Okay.
then I think as soon as I started watching his videos, that's when your videos started showing up on my
Mm.
YouTube feed, which is pretty awesome.
That's how nerfed we are. That the only way that we're showing up on other people's feeds is they go to one or the other. Seriously, Google has completely
Yeah.
nerfed us from showing up on the homepage. We don't show up first in searches. It's been terrible. I mean, it's been really hard since they nerfed us. And again, we are on you guys are seeing this after a week off because I got a strike because the casino name on a live stream came up. But we're going to pick this back up. And I have a couple more questions for you on this. But we are at
Awesome.
$15 on our second session, right? Look at that graph.
Not
I mean, that's
bad.
a sexy graph.
Yeah.
That's the kind of graph
Very.
outside of a little bit at the first part. But if you look at the rest of that stuff, when you see nothing but green pasture below it, you're like, that's a good session. So I'm going to challenge you yet again. You're going to have to come back for the third session with yet a different strategy. Know what your progression is going to be and know what the starting unit size is going to be. Okay?
Okay.
I'm going to give you
Okay.
10 minutes to think that through. And when we come back, you're going to be controlling that. Okay?
Awesome. Sounds
All
good.
right. All right, gang. We will be back in a little bit, and we'll see what kind of surprise she has for us there. All right. Cheers. All right, fools. We're back. Session number 3. We're doing great. We're up $15. Look at that. So, okay.
Love it.
I don't even know again. She went back, she meditated, she got a Ouija board out, she talked to the dead, whatever, and came up with whatever we're going to play now. What's it going to be?
4 on the floor.
4 on the floor. All right.
Follow the winner.
Follow the winner. Got it. And that only has one type of progression. It's a super martingale. It's double plus 1 base unit. Okay. So, all right. I like this strategy. We've done really well with this one on the couple of sessions I've played here. I've done really well on this. I lean this. This isn't a novelty strat, but it's not my daily driver. I put it somewhere, if you had a sliding scale, a little bit towards the novelty side, just a little bit. But it still works out really well. But this one can be very, very dangerous. This one can be. Overall, I played this. I've done very, very well, but there has been once or twice where this thing got pretty deep. And now I forgot. I definitely need to save these because if this starts getting better or bigger, it gets kind of harder to do the double plus 1 because of the bet size. What made you choose this strat?
So I feel like it might not be as safe as the strategy. I don't know. Maybe it is as safe as the strategies I've been going for. But I think you have a pretty high coverage with this. but without having so much money out there, if you know what I
Okay.
mean.
Okay. So let's recap here. You're hoping to get the trifecta on this. You're hoping to get
Mm.
a 1 to 18. So you get the high, and then obviously it'll hit one of the dozens, and you're hoping you get an even number. And that will give you 3 wins. You're still okay with 2 wins. That's still profitable. We hit, what did we just hit? So we hit 24, which is an even and the second dozen. So at least we made a little bit of profit. With 1 hit, like way over here, if we hit it just an even, that's not profitable. And there's a whole loss right there. So that's okay. So we are down. We did not recover yet because we lost on this side already. So I'm going to have to double it, add 1 unit, double that again, add 1 unit. And you can kind
Sounds
of already
good.
start seeing, right, how expensive this can get because you got 4 bets going on. But
Yeah.
I do like this one. I do like this one a lot. All right.
Hopefully it turns around for us.
Right. Um, Let me switch gears here real quick. And I may have to periodically, I might have to go "Ugh," if we keep losing. But what is your goal? What is your overall goal? There we go. That's a banger.
So what is my goal?
Like, where would you
I
like to
think
see? Is this something that you would like to see as a, um, you would like to see this as a job replacement at some point? Is this just more of, no, I don't really think I'll ever feel that comfortable. I just want it to be some nice supplemental spending money that I can make on the side. What is it that you are
mm,
hoping to see?
so for me, okay, obviously right now it's just supplemental money on the side until I build a really huge bankroll. And when I say really huge, it's probably going to take me about 5 years to get there if I just play carefully and, um,
Right.
strategically. But yeah, for now, it's just money on the side just to have something safe. So if I do want to travel and I have a few $1,000s in
Okay.
my stake accounts or whatever, I can withdraw some to buy a plane ticket to go visit family overseas, or I'm not held back. It's like
Right.
my new form of investing or saving.
Right.
Um, it obviously won't be my only form. It's always good to have a backup. Um, but yeah, so for now, it's basically just extra money, and then
Right.
eventually, you know what, if it really goes well, and I've managed to build up a huge enough bankroll to be able to live off of as well as keep growing, then
Okay.
maybe I will do this permanently. Go live on an
Yeah.
island somewhere.
I like it. I like it. And as we talked about it, for those that are looking as a lifer plan to like really so they can leave their job and live comfortably off of something along these lines, it's years. I hope people understand that this isn't a quick fix. Um, that's a losing one, isn't it? We are just going to rebet on this one. All right, we're going to rebet because that was 24. So I'd only hit, no, I hit 2. That hits high and
Yeah.
second doesn't. So we're doing okay. So we're going to rebet that. We need to hit here in the, we need the trifecta if we want to get the banger. So it takes years because when I'm working on the worksheet, for example, if I asked you, and you don't have to answer this literally, if I said, how much a month or year do you think you would need to have as income to live comfortably, modestly, right? Where you're not worried about
Mm.
electrical bills, food, you can travel modestly, around whatever you want to do. How much a month, and that's what I want everybody to start thinking about. How much a month would that look like for them, you know? Um, and then from there you can work backwards, right? Going, okay, for example, and I'm going to do this in US dollars because that's how my mind thinks. If I were to
Mm.
say, I think I can live comfortably on $3,000 before tax. Okay. So you kind of have to know, you're going to have to subtract. I don't know what the taxes is in your country and stuff, but here I would probably just take 35% off, 35, 40% if you want to be really conservative or you think you're going to make that much money. But thinking about that. And then you'd have to figure out, okay, what kind of bankroll would I need just to start that, right? Just to be able to make 3,000 a month. What kind of bankroll do I need on the side to get there? And then you can kind of extrapolate going today. If I make this much and I grow it to 10,000, how long does that take me to get to that bankroll? And then how long do I have to play with that bankroll to feel really confident, you know? And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I personally think whatever you think you need a month, not only do you need that in bankroll, playable bankroll, I say you need to have 2 years worth of that sitting in your bank account. Okay. 2 years. That's just me. Some of you may go, nah, that's too much. I don't think it is. You don't want to be stressing, right? If you were to leave your job, you
I
don't want to be
totally agree
stressing that
with
you only
you.
have 3 months, right?
Right.
So that's
And
why I
it's not
say
always easy to find a job, especially
exactly.
here in South Africa, like jobs are scarce. So,
Right. Right.
yeah.
One US dollar is equal to how many? Or do you know the conversion?
It's probably about 17 rand now. I'm not going to
17?
Google.
17 to 1?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. Let me just see.
So that's something I put out to everybody out there watching is kind of start thinking about what it is. How much do you think to live comfortably? Now, some of you, it all depends. Some of you may be like, I want an extravagant lifestyle. I want to be able to travel every month. I mean, and I would caution against that because that starts really pushing you. And now suddenly you're playing way more to get a lot more. And not that you can't do it, but just kind of like you said at the beginning, you want to be cautious. You want to be able to play. You don't want to be stressed. If you're stressed about this, right? Are you a
Mm.
stressor? When you play, are you like pins and needles, your stomach? How is that for you?
Okay, so it's not that bad. Not with pins and needles or I feel sick or anything, but I do tend to uh, probably tense up, like
Right.
I can feel that I am stressed a bit when I play. Um, when as I say, play in ARS, I'm betting smaller, and I have a comfortable bankroll, then I don't feel so bad. But I think it's when the bets start getting bigger and the bankroll starts getting smaller, then yeah, it gets a bit scary.
Okay. The in general, you don't have to get specific. Are the people in your life, family, friends, and everything, do they know that you play? And are they pretty supportive, or they don't know this is your dirty little secret and you're in the closet right now, whispering? What is that like with just your entire social network around you? Is it generally good or bad?
So I think as a whole picture, it's a uh, generally a bad picture because, gambling,
Mm,
like everyone thinks gambling is bad and you should stay away from gambling. But what I've learned is if you can control yourself and not degen, then it's cool. You can make money with gambling as long
right.
as you do it responsibly and in the right way and know when to walk away. And that's what's so difficult, right? Because your adrenaline it gets going and you want to keep winning because it's those good endorphins filling your system. And so
Hmm.
I can see why people would say it's bad. It's like a drug. Like
Yeah.
people can get addicted to gambling.
Right.
Um, but I think, what, as long as you're responsible about it, say, you don't put all your rent money or your grocery money into gambling, hoping to double or triple, so you can get through the month. Yeah, no, then it's
Okay.
obviously a bad thing. But
Yeah.
by my situation, generally, people around me think it's a bad thing, so it's not something I really like talking about to them.
Mm,
Um, some of my friends have already asked if I need help, if they need to intervene,
mm,
because, I speak openly. I tell them, oh, I went to the casino or I did some online gambling on the weekend, or, and
right.
they immediately get concerned. So,
Yeah. Well, you're going to prove them wrong that you don't have to. Oh my gosh. This dealer is just
mm,
bouncing back and forth. What am I at
it's
here?
killing our
15
profit.
units? 1 point, yeah, 15 units.
This is getting scary. Brent, at any time you want to, please feel free to take over with either 5 double
Yeah,
streets for recovery
we're
or
gonna let it play out here. We're at 1240, so we're still in profit. But if we lose this one, then we have start having some decisions. And normally we would want to have that decision made right now, right? You want to have that. You don't want to wait till you got the countdown in front of you, because then you're apt. Oh my God. Look at her. She is just going back and forth. Demon Seed 100%.
Demon Seed.
What is it? 3.1. All right. Let's get up to this. Let's go one more. And we are at a $25 bet. If we lose this one, we're going to stop and we're going to go into recovery mode, which we don't even have to, right? It's on a $250 bankroll. In this case, we would be down $25. That's not a terrible. That's not terrible. That's something we can easily make up. So we don't want to get too crazy with it, but there is a nice hit. Look at that. That hit the trifecta right when we needed it. We hit the trifecta. We hit 18. So we got the low, the dozen, and the even. So there we go. So, okay, we live to fight another day. But
yeah, but I don't think I'm going to do 4 on the floor again.
Or the beauty of part of this, Tamron, is that you can see how deep this can get. And so you can do 4 on the floor, but maybe you do 1 penny bets or 2 penny or 3 penny. You just pull it down.
That's a good idea.
And when you have banger strategies like Control Chaos, 4 on the floor, where you have these little partial wins, but then you have these real bangers, but you're only covering half the board, you really need to have those progressions are super, super important. So you don't have to not play them. You just have to make sure that you have enough progressions to last out like we did with her, right? And if we started with $5 or even $1 units, we would have been cooked, right?
Yeah.
We would have been cooked. We wouldn't have been able to do that last progression. So, all right, but good job so far.
Strategy, honestly. Yeah. But with such a large, I say it's large, $5. It might be little to some, but like $5 is a large bet for me. I wouldn't even do that with this strategy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Oh, there she goes again. All right. Just ping-ponging us. All right, let's get this back. There we go. Going back to something that you just talked about where your friends and stuff are going, hey, do you have a problem? Do you need intervention? Which is fine. I mean, they care about you, and gambling generally has that sort of hanging over it, and it can be very, very addictive, right? So there's 2 things. One, we're going to prove that it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have, because if you start getting your focus into this as a job, you're making money, pretty soon it becomes just very transactional. You're not playing for the thrill of it, right? You're not playing just for that rush of that hit. It becomes very transactional. And I think that helps a lot with the mindset that, okay, this really is, I'm playing because I need to be careful because my income depends on it. We're here for profit. It kind of takes it. And then the second thing is, and I mentioned this a while back, if you get to that point where your bets are getting bigger and you sort of like that bigger bet and you don't want to go down because you don't want to take the time that smaller bets are going to take you and you're willing to risk, that's a flag. At that point, you really want to check yourself and go, all right, what am I doing? And that's why I said, bring your bets all the way down, pull yourself into maybe a $100 bankroll. Let's say you're up to 1,000 like I am now. Bring yourself down to a $100 bankroll and play with that for a week. Reset your mind on what a lot feels like, right? Because that's dangerous. And ask me how I know. I know because I did some big bets, which reminds me actually, at the end of this video, or maybe just before the last session, I made some big bets last night. I made 2 of them and I recorded both of those because I wanted to show whether I could win or lose. So whether I win or I lose, I'm going to show you guys. Okay. So I'm going to insert that here in the middle. And the difference is, okay, just to be very, very clear, on those, I'm not dealing with a $1,000 bankroll, right? My bankroll can handle the big bets that I was doing, and I was willing to accept the loss on it. I had a plan. So it wasn't, I was playing and I was losing and my bet started getting bigger. I just had a tingle and said, you know what? I've been a good boy for the last like 3 weeks. I've been playing really diligently for the most part. I'm going to give myself controlled degen, right? I gave myself an exact balance and said, you have this one loss and you're done, sir. Right. So, oh my gosh, what was that unit size here? 70 cents. Okay. So I'll insert that here when we're done with this session, which let's recover and call this session. We started out, let's see, where did we start out, Tamron? We started out at around 1590 and we're at 1740. So once we get this, if we can get a banger here, that'll get us some nice profit and we'll see where we ended on this one. And if this is why it's neat to play some of these different strategies at a real low unit. And you can kind of see what kind of profit does this actually make me? Boom. There we go.
Beautiful.
There we go. All right. We ended up 1950. We started at 1580. So a little less than $4 in this 18 minutes. So I think we had this really low streak here. And I think we happened to be hitting a lot of ping-ponging back and forth, which took up a lot of our time in recovery mode. Otherwise, I think we'd be, but that's how it is, right? That's how some of these strategies go. But overall, we ended up okay. Right now, we're going to cut over. We're going to finish this session's done. I'm going to cut over right here. I'm going to insert the video that I did last night of 2 spins. I'm not going to tell you how it comes out, other that there were 2 big bets, and we're going to come back for our 4th and final session. Tamron, you have that chore again of going and figuring out what strategy that we're going to play, what the unit size is. And then I'm going to ask you how you chose that. What was the logic behind why you chose that strategy and why you chose that unit size? And the answer needs to be better than I just wanted to be safe.
Okay.
I want some sort of calculation that you did sort of, and it doesn't have to be precise, but I just want some sort of tangible logic behind why you chose the unit size and the progression style that you did to come up with that. Deal?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. We will be back. For you guys, it's just a blink of an eye, but for us, it'll be another 10 minutes. So we'll be back in 10 minutes and we'll see what she comes up. Enjoy or maybe not enjoy. I'm not going to tell you whether I enjoyed it or not I enjoyed it, but here, let me show you these spins. We'll be back in just a bit. All right. Cheers. All right, lifers, we're back. 4th and final session. So far, she's called it perfectly. She's called a perfect game so far. So I have the utmost confidence, and I have no idea what she's coming up with next. What are we doing, Tamron?
Brains, I told myself I'd stay away from this strategy tonight. I know it's one of your favorites, but I'm pretty afraid of the strategy. But I think with you, I'm going to give it a try. Let's do 5 double streets. But I think it's Plague, where you don't play the one that recently won.
Okay, so we're going to play 5 double streets Plague. What's our unit size?
So unit size, please, let's just start with 10 cents.
10 cents, okay.
Per double streets, and progression, double, double, double.
Okay, you want to do a 4x progression, right?
Yes, please. I feel it's safer. Not safer, but in a way, the quicker you try and recover, the better, so you don't just dig deeper in that hole.
All right, so hit 11.
Let's see how it works.
So we're going to bet the 1-4 and the 13-16. We're playing Plague, which means, like she said, we're going to leave the double street, the pair to double street that just hit. In this case, it was 11. So we're going to leave the 7-10 street open. This is exact opposite of Deja Vu. Deja Vu would cover the street that just happened and leave the partner double street in that dozen open. So it's just an exact inverse of that. And you're off to a good start. You got 1 win. Why does this one scare you so much?
I think because of the amounts of money you have on the table just to win one of those unit sizes.
Right. Okay.
Like
that's
you'll
fair.
have, how much are you betting? 50 cents right now, just to win 10 cents.
Right.
And that's pretty scary for me, at least with the 2 dozens.
Okay.
you win double on a dozen, so you kind of, I
Right.
don't know, just feel safer.
Right. I understand. I understand. I mean, pros and cons, right? I mean, high coverage, relatively low payout compared to what you're getting. And it
Mhm.
can get expensive very, very quickly. I my first time gambling when I went on this trip um, to Vegas, I went to the table with 7,000. Um, Wait a second, we're gonna leave that one open. Um, and that only gave me 3 bullets because I was betting with $100 units, and I was doing a 3x. So that gave me exactly 3 bullets. So that's the risk, right? I can make a lot more.
Yeah.
I got up to $1,400 in profit. Okay, I'm up 1,400. What? All right, we just got whacked, so we're gonna leave it. Are we gonna bet now? Do we wait? What do you do?
You can bet.
Okay, and we're gonna double it. Um, I got up to 1,400. Now, if you were playing and at that point, what would be the right thing to do when you're up 1,400?
Walk away, right?
Exactly. Walk away. And I knew it, but because I had just gotten there, I was trying to play for my tier so I can keep my platinum VIP. So I knew it and I was willing to risk it. And I did. After I said I should walk away, a couple spins later, it whacked me 3 times in a row. So I ended up losing. Now that we did 4x, are we going down to 1x or what do we do now that we just won?
Um, can you do a 2x? It
We
doesn't look
can.
like we're at session
All right, we're going
profit
to
yet.
2x. This means on the second spin, we'll go up 1 base unit or we will have profited 10 cents pre-loss from where we started. Okay. So, okay,
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. So anyway, that's the story is if you stay at the table, that's what will happen. That's why we time box our sessions. Not that you couldn't get those 3 whacks right off, but if you survive through that 15 minutes, leave because there's a good chance it's going to, and it did. So it wiped out that amount of money I had, that 1,400, and I was okay with it. That's why I stayed. But yeah, just something to think about. Walk away. What is right now? What is your playable? What is your bankroll right now in US dollars? If you can tell us in US dollars.
$70. 69
17
something. So let's just round up to
$17.
$70. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. $70. What did you
70.
start
Yeah.
with? What did you
I
start with?
started with $58.
Okay. So you're up to
And I
78.
started on Saturday. So
That's
that
amazing.
was, let's just say, 5 days ago. And I didn't play Sunday or Monday.
Okay. We
So,
just got whacked, by the way. So we're going to double. We're going to 4x
oh,
it.
yeah.
Um,
So
okay.
yeah,
So
but as I say, I'm also betting in ARS and I'm doing tiny bets, especially while my bankroll is still quite low.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, once I get, I think over 1,000,
I like that
it'll
plan.
take me a while to get there. But
That's okay because the nice thing about this is you have plenty with ARS, you're going to be having plenty of progressions, plenty of bullets. If you do
mm,
lose a session, it will be
mm,
relatively small compared to your bankroll. And then at the end of whenever I cut you loose, you will have at least over doubled your bankroll because I'm going to fund you with a new account and you're going to have funding there. So
yeah,
you will at least have a minimum of over doubled your bankroll on that. So you can, I'm not saying I want you to increase your bets because I don't, but I want you to keep at it. But remember, there's a line between being too cautious at some point.
yeah,
At some point, you're going to it doesn't have to be a lot. I'm not saying you have to leave ARS, but at some point when your bankroll starts getting nice, you're gonna want to step it up if you're looking to get that travel money, if you're looking to do that, because it's going to take you a
mm,
very long time making 3.5 cent bets, right, to get to where we're going.
mm,
So,
yeah.
oh dang it, we just got whacked. Oh no, we didn't. Never
Um,
mind. We just
but
won. All right, we just won. So we're back to it. There we go. We recovered. What was our high there? 1980. We just recovered, so I didn't 2x it, but that's okay. I forgot. We were having such an engaging conversation that I was like,
yeah,
oh,
right.
I totally forgot. Okay, so you have around $78 right now, which is awesome considering you started with 50. I
70.
mean,
Yeah.
Remember, I was
Yeah.
telling you to look at percentages, not amounts necessarily. And so if we look at the percentage of what you've done, you've made over 50% return on investment on where you started, right? And you
That's
started
amazing.
relatively early, right? You said you started this
Yeah.
when?
Saturday. Well, five
Saturday,
days ago.
5
Yeah.
days ago, and you've achieved a 50% ROI, right? So what I want you to do is, if anybody's a skeptic about it and they're giving you a hard time, you say, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you my money and I expect a 50% ROI in 1 week. Let's see what they say.
Yeah.
Or go to a financial advisor. I'm looking for 50% ROI every week or even a month. Let's see what they say. They're going to look at you and go, Tamron, did you forget your meds today? That's what they're going to say.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
and I joke about meds. Mental health, I don't seriously joke about that. I've been super open. I've struggled with anxiety and depression my entire adult life, and I'm on meds, and it was the best thing. I stayed off of it for 20 years because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to say
Yeah.
I'm on meds for being crazy, right? It was a
Yeah.
stigma,
Yeah.
and at some point I just said, "Eff it." My mental health is more than that stigma, and I hope a lot of other people don't bottle up inside out of shame, because talk it out, man. Get some help. Anyway, there is my public service announcement on that goes. Hey, we're doing pretty well
I love
here
it.
right now. I think you might have picked a new strategy that might be my favorite now. I've never played this. So I'm liking, I don't
I
know
think
what it's
I
about
just
it, but
need to
this one
be,
speaks to me.
yeah, right. I think I just need to be brave enough to play the strategy in my own personal capacity now.
Yeah, for sure. And just
I'll
give
give it a
yourself plenty of
try.
progressions. And
Mm.
I mean, I'm not sure I'm crazy about the 4x at this unit size. I'm okay with that. If I were playing a little bit more aggressively, the 4x could get you in a lot of danger. I mean, I do 3x and that gets
Mm.
expensive, right? But so far, what was that? A
Yeah.
13? A 10? All right. You know what? I haven't even played Plague in a long time. I've been playing Deja Vu so much. You get in these ruts. It's really weird. And it's no better, it's no
Yeah.
worse, but you get in this rut of playing a certain, like you're playing 24 slut, right? And
Hmm.
I don't know if you alternate that with follow the winner, or you play follow the two losers, or you play static. Do you switch that up at all? Or are you on just slut?
So I have a perfect pattern, and it starts with the first dozen and the third dozen. That's my start. As soon as I get into the table, that's what I start with. The two
Okay.
splits, split dozens. Then whichever dozen wins or loses, I immediately just go to the third and second dozen. And it doesn't matter who wins or loses, I go to the first and second dozen. And then I do
Right.
the split again, second and third, first and second split.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah, so on and so
And you
forth.
know, if it's working, and you and I talked about it before, there's nothing that says you need to change a damn thing. Okay, we just won. You don't need to change a
Yeah.
darn thing if it's working, because this isn't about, you're not creating a YouTube video and trying to entertain anybody by making it fresh. You're not one of the other channels that's just going, I'm going to show you a new strategy. We're going to put two chips on two numbers and we're going to 10x our bets and you can make a lot of money, right? So this is about you earning safely. Now, what would it take? How long, or what do you think would take for you to feel pretty confident to where you can actually now start opening up your bets a little bit more, not playing with so many progressions, to be super cautious, not to be dumb about it, but what would it take? What do you think would have to happen for you to open up your betting a little bit and start kind of looking for a little bit more profit each day?
So I definitely think I'd need my bankroll to be over at least 500. So I could start, then I would be comfortable betting with 10-cent units. And I know that's probably so ridiculous to hear because that's still so little. Um, but honestly, like, as I say, I've busted a few times before. You've heard my story, so I want to avoid that at all costs. Especially now with, having a stake accounts or raised. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube, but anyway.
You're okay. You're
Um,
okay.
okay. But yeah, like, now betting in dollars, it's as I say, it's a lot for me. Coming
Right.
with my South African rands and then betting in these dollars, it can get pretty huge. I think then once I get my bankroll over $1,000, then I'd be comfortable with starting to bet
Are we talking USD?
a bit higher.
Or are we
Yes,
talking rands?
yes. No,
Okay.
USD.
You just got whacked.
Once I get my bankroll over
Okay,
over
that's
a
okay. So
thousand, then
once
I'll
you
be
get your bankroll
comfortable with
over
doing 50
1,000
cents
USD, you think you'll
units.
feel a lot more comfortable to kind of start opening it up a little bit relative to your bankroll size. And I
Yeah,
like that plan. So let me ask you this question. Aren't you afraid you're going to lose the race with everybody else if you be too conservative?
not at all. I think there's no deadline for this race, especially if you want to do this for life. You just uh, take it in your stride and do what feels good. If you feel like you are being too conservative and you're not going to be able to make enough money to live on every month, then obviously, yes, make sure you have the bankroll, make sure you have the progressions, and increase your bet sizes. But I'm not afraid of losing the race at all.
Okay. Does everybody see what I did there? I was baiting her. Everybody knows I always say this isn't a race. This isn't a competition. I just wanted to see if she would go along with it, and she didn't, which is really good. You're absolutely right. You go at the speed that you want to go at, what you're comfortable at. It's not a race. This is something that you got to look at the long term. And if you flame out early,
suspicious of what?
God damn it. We're in a channel on Discord, and I put in there private, do not enter. And this yokel comes into our thing, and you just heard that background noise from them. Okay, we just won. We recovered back and hit 36. So we're back up in profit again.
Look at that huge $20 profit right now.
We are at $20 profit, and we did have one pretty good scare here, which is okay. Because even if we had lost, we'd only be minus 25 and we were going to pull the plug. We agreed if we go down minus 25, we're pulling the plug. And on a $250 bankroll playable balance, I'm totally okay with losing 25 because we will make that up. I mean, we just got to have way more sessions than we do the losing sessions, right? And if we can do that, then we're okay. And for the most part, this is a very, very sexy looking graph. That's what we want to see, right? A lot of lawn below us, and it's looking good. So you've chosen right so far. And I'll tell you what, Tamron, being uber cautious, if you don't mind not making the profit, it's so much more relaxing to play this way than being on the edge of your seat, excuse me. So it's definitely a smart move. And I was going to say to everybody out there, if you find that you are starting to get to the point where your bets are getting huge, dude, hold on one second, everybody. Mr. Stem, did you not see this as private, do not enter? And you got background noise while we're recording? He comes in here one more time, I'm gonna ban him. I'm gonna time him out. Anywho, so yeah, if you find that you're getting stressed, that your sessions are no longer enjoyable, right? I've said it. What's the point of this? If this becomes a job where you're stressed out, you're not, that's not what this is supposed to be. I'm not saying there'll never be a time when you're like on the edge of your seat because you're on your fifth progression. But in general, this should be comfortable. And if you're not, bring your bets way down like you're doing and play within a comfort zone and only get out of that gradually. And if you find Tamron, even when you get to $1,000 bankroll, let's say you get to 1,000 or 500 and you go up to 10 cent USD and you're not comfortable with it. There's a difference between being a little edgy at first because you're just jumping up, and a difference between every time you play, you are feeling, sick to your stomach and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then bring it down. Bring it down. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So I like your approach a lot. Look at this. We're crushing it with Plague right now. Good call. Good call. So
as you said earlier, that graph is really looking sexy, and I couldn't agree more.
yeah.
Just looking back, was it the 2 dozens that got us up quicker?
Okay, so the very first dips, that was the 2 dozens that we got in a little bit of trouble early on. And then this was 4 on the floor. This was 4 on the floor that we got into that. And that was, I think our final bet was $50 some, I think. And
we also had controlled chaos.
Maybe it was controlled chaos. I thought it was 4 on the floor, but it could have been controlled chaos.
I think that was
it was controlled chaos. Okay. Right. Either way, we only had 1 scare, and the scare came with a strategy that I would call a higher risk strategy anyway, right? Controlled chaos. I love that strategy, but it is along the lines of a higher, in many respects in my book, higher risk, because you're only covering 18. Of those 18, only 12 numbers give you a really good recovery. The other 6 numbers give you only 1 unit profit. And so it's just like prolonging that high bet for extended periods of time. All right. Yeah. We're going to go one more. We're doing so well. Let's get up. We're at 2130. Let's see if we can get a couple more. And we're going to call it quits. 2 more wins. Okay. 2 more wins. Let's get up to 2150. That's a nice number. And this is the most dangerous thing you can do. Oh, let's just get up to make it an even number. You know how many times I have and other members going, I just need 10 more cents to make it a nice even number. Next thing you bomb. So what we're going to do here, Tamarin, is we're only going to give ourselves 2 progressions. If we lose this one, we'll give ourselves 1 more. If we lose after that, we're done, and we'll accept whatever the loss is on that. We're not going to chase it, but we would like to get 2 more wins here. And there's 1. And then we'll be at 2150, which is that's a nice number. 2150. We did well.
And you see, as long as you keep that thinking, then gambling can't be bad, because you're playing responsibly. You're walking away at the right time.
Right.
So
exactly. Being able to walk away, don't chase, and we're not here for the adrenaline rush, right? And if you, like we said earlier, if you find yourself wanting to place the bigger bets because you're going, and the thought's going to go like this, I'm only making 10 cents a spin. I could be making $5 a spin because I did it once, right? I did it once. I could be making $5 a spin. This is taking too long. When you get to that thought process, you need to reset your mind of what's correct. Go back, look at a progression calculator, see exactly how many progressions you have. If you have 8 progressions with 5 double streets at $5 units, okay, you have my blessing. Go for it. But if you don't, if you only have 3 or 4, that is a big problem, right? And I played that way during this sessions, and I have a couple big losses, wipeouts, to show you what happens when we do that. All right, we ended up at 2150. It was a great session. You did great. What is there anything, closing arguments that you would like to make, Counselor, before we leave?
I think always just be open to trying new things, but don't try a strategy if it looks like really chaotic and like if there's too much risk involved. And if you do really want to try it, as Brent says, bring your bets way down, 1 penny bets kind of thing, just to try it, see how it goes. And
right. So when you say don't try a strategy that is chaotic, does it mean that it's okay to play a strategy where the name chaos is actually in the title of the strategy?
That's okay to play that strategy. Yeah. Controlled chaos. Perfect. That's fun.
So don't play chaotic, but it's okay if it has chaos in the strategy, then you're in the title, then you're okay.
Controlled chaos. So
controlled chaos. Exactly. All right, folks, we complete our first session. We'll be back for the next session. We are actually on the strike period, so we're going to be able to get all these videos done. By the time you guys see this first video, we will have done at least 5 to 8 videos. So we'll have that locked and loaded, and let's see what the progressions are, because I want you to be in some of these sessions where I'm going to go ahead and be a little bit more risky and see what happens with that, and kind of get us on edge a little bit. So it'll be fun as an experiment. All right. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Be good humans. Be good to each other. You know, this world is kind of messed up right now. So be good to each other. And us against the casino, lifers, right? Like Tamarin's doing,
Lifers.
you don't have to play for big numbers. You don't have to play for a certain amount. It's more important that you get comfortable. You're in it for the long run. So, you know, just take it easy. And if you do get whacked or you do wherever and you're starting again, chin up. It's happened to all of us. I can't tell you how many times I've been almost wiped out and I've been able to bring it back through slow and steady sometimes. So just stick with it. It'll happen. You just got some really unusually bad luck. I know you guys can do this. All right, guys, that's it. We'll see you guys for the next session. We'll see what we come up with next. Who knows? Maybe we'll do one number, all on one number. We'll go on 250 bucks on zero, all on black. Who knows? All right, everybody. Cheers. We'll see you next time.
Bye.